Hello, this is my video to go over my course expectations and just kind of give you an overview of what we'll be doing this summer in Theater 176. You've met me, I'm Dr. Chrisman. You've got my syllabus hopefully pulled up in front of you, and we're going to kind of go through that together. So if my eyes dart back and forth across the camera, it's just because I'm following along on the syllabus as well, and I just want to make sure I cover all of the important things needed for you to be successful in this course with me. Okay. There at the top of the syllabus, if you're looking at that, you've got that you see that I have office hours by appointment only because this is an online class. I am able to meet with you via the chat room in ReggieNet, which is set up, and I will. If you'll need to schedule an appointment with me if you want to use that function, and so that we can be on there at the same time. Additionally, I'm available by email, jdchri1@ilstu.edu, and I am also available for video conferencing through Zoom, or if we need to set up a phone conversation, then we can set that up as well. You see that this is a 3-credit-hour course where we will be examining the relationship between theater and politics or culture. The focus of this 6-week course will be on diversity and theater. So we will be looking at several different lenses of diversity, defining what diversity is, and talking about those 5 different lenses of it in relation to the scripts that we'll be reading as a class as well. You also see that all work will need to be submitted by the assigned due date and time in the time zone of Central Standard Time. You may be in different places all over the country or the world. However, that is the timestamps that will need to be on your work as you submit things based on Central Standard Time, as if we were on campus at ISU. You will also see that there are several required texts. The first one on there is Drama and Diversity by Sharon Grady. It looks like this. It's a purple book with a student dressed up like the Statue of Liberty. That book, if you really want to buy that book, you can. I've embedded there Amazon, and I believe the bookstore also has that. However, because we're only going to be using certain portions of the chapters, you don't have to get it. I'm going to include a PDF of those selections for you in ReggieNet for each of the modules that we'll be reading. The book is really geared toward theater education students. However, I do believe that the setup information before the book gives you information about lesson planning and meeting students' needs of those different diversity lenses. The information prior to that, those parts of the chapters are very important, and I think really gives us a good framework to work in as we're discussing the different topics. So I will provide those for you unless you're just itching to go buy a copy of that book for yourself. The other 5 are not optional, though. There are 5 different scripts that we'll be reading, and I will share those with you here as well on the screen. The first one is Clybourne Park by Bruce Norris. That is available through Dramatis.com. Amazon or the bookstore should have copies of this as well. We'll be reading Clybourne Park as we discuss racial diversity. The next play that we will be reading is Sweat by Lynn Nottage. This is available at the Theater Communications Group. It's also available on Amazon, and again, the bookstore should have it as well. The next one that we will be looking at is Cloud 9 by Carol Churchill, as we look at diversity with gender. Sweat covers diversity with class and status, and then Cloud 9 for gender is what we'll be looking at, and that is available from samuelfrench.com, Amazon, or again, the bookstore will have that. The next script that we'll be looking at is The Legend of Georgia McBride by Matthew Lopez. This is also available from Dramatis.com. Amazon may or may not have that. I think when I've looked on there on Amazon, it's been very expensive, like upwards of $100+. Do not spend that. You can get The Legend of Georgia McBride directly through Dramatis or the bookstore for about $9 or $10 plus the shipping. So do not buy that from Amazon if it's over $10. So make sure you look at Dramatis for that. Okay. And then the final play that we'll be reading is The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Simon Stevens. That is also available from dramatist.com, Amazon, or hopefully the bookstore will have all of these as well to keep things simple for you. You do need all of those plays. We will be reading those in the order that I shared those with you. So this week we will be, the first week you'll mostly be focusing on getting to know one another, introducing yourselves, and defining what diversity and what theater are. So you won't need your first script until week 2, which is when we'll talk about race. Then we will... Sorry, my screen just went away. Then we will be talking about week 3, Sweat with Lynn Nottage. Cloud 9 is week 4. Legend of George McBride is week 5. And then The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime is week 6. Legend of George McBride specifically deals with sexual orientation, and Curious Incident deals with disability and ability levels. So that is kind of where we're going with the text. Again, you do need all the scripts. And if you're really into the book that we're reading by Sharon Grady, you can purchase that, or you can just rely on the PDFs that I'll be providing you of the sections that we are going to be reading. This course heavily depends on interaction and discussion, and in an online setting, that's a little more challenging. However, I've hopefully embedded a few different ways in which we can achieve that interactiveness and that discussion and hearing one another's ideas and thoughts about the different topics and plays that we're going to be reading. So hopefully you'll find those interesting. Hopefully you'll find them engaging. I have worked hard to try to make sure that the course is as engaging as possible, and that you are going to be getting things out of it. This is a course that meets your general education requirements and objectives. We're going to scroll on down and you'll see the list of assignments. Each module, each week is broken up into a module that you'll see in ReggieNet, and each week is worth 50 points. And then the assignments and readings and quizzes within each of those weeks are all broken up, but they will equal 50 points. So your exam is 50 points as well, so you have a total possible point earning of 350. So however many points you earn over the course of the 6 weeks divided by the total 350 points gives you the percentage grade that I will be assigning you, and that you will be earning for the 6-week course. We're going to scroll on down, evaluating and grading. We already talked about that, that it is expected that you participate as much as possible. If we have an online forum going, that you're interacting, that you are posting questions, that you're posting thoughtful questions, that you're answering each other, and you're having as much of that discussion back and forth as possible. Your assignments are to be turned in. You've got a week to work on all of the assignments, so please be sure you're staying on top of that. As you scroll on down, you'll see late work is that I do not accept late work. Okay, I accept it within 24 hours after the original due date and time. After that point, everything becomes a 0. Within that 24 hours, if you're turning something in late within that 24 hours after the due date, it is then worth 50% of the original grade. So you want to stay on top of that and make sure you're getting things turned in on time, and that you're not letting things build up and you're not waiting till the last minute. A note on waiting till the last minute: if you are doing that, that means you're most likely not interacting and participating as much as possible throughout the week in the different discussions that we will be having online for the weeks that we'll be doing that. So you need to stay on top of that and take care of that. Also, you give better work when you give yourself time to do it. And I'm able to see when you turn things in at 11:58, 11:57, like 2 minutes before it's due. Usually your work suffers when you don't, when you're waiting till the last minute. So let's don't do that. Let's rely on each other for those group discussion-based things, and then that you are taking time throughout the week to complete it. Again, I'm available via email. We can set up the chat function in ReggieNet for a mutual time to meet on there, or we can set up video conferencing as well if you have questions and things that you need over the course of the 6 weeks. attendance, we're online, so you get to drop in and do what you need to do throughout the week on your own. We don't have any times that well, there is one time. For the most part, though, we don't have times where you are relying on each other for schedules to meet together. Your final week, though, there is a Zoom video discussion that all 4 of us will coordinate schedules so that we can all be a part of that. But we've got about 5 weeks to plan that, so hopefully we'll be able to find a common time that week for that. You'll hear more about that from me as we go. So attendance, it's just important that you are taking care of being a part of the different things that you need to be a part of and that you're completing things throughout the week. The rest of the syllabus just goes over ReggieNet, that we will be using ReggieNet for everything with the course. When we are not using ReggieNet for something or something that is taking you offline or off ReggieNet to complete work, I will provide links for you, and everything that we'll be using is free, so you will not have to pay for anything additional to be able to be a part of that with Flipgrid that we'll be using, Zoom, and Google Docs for collaborative work. So all of those are free, but I will provide links for those things when we need to do that, okay? Got a video that you can check out provided by the University for how to succeed in online courses. The next section, I am not a technical guru, and I'm not able to answer most tech questions. So you will need to rely on your tools that you have at ISU, the internet, the tools on the ISU website and ReggieNet site when you have those questions. Please know that because this course is online and much of the things that we'll be doing are virtual, then that means that you're not able to use the excuse of my internet went down, my computer crashed, things like that. You'll need to make sure you're able to access a computer and internet at some point on your own during the week if that happens. If that legitimately happens, you do have tools available at ISU, you've got public libraries, or you have a friend hopefully who can let you borrow a computer or laptop, or even a tablet of some sort will also probably work for this course. So just know that that's not something that'll be able to be an excuse for not completing work each week as it's needed. Communication etiquette and etiquette just in general. We're going to make sure that we're being respectful of different opinions. I value difference, which is kind of the reason I set the course up to talk about diversity, is that we're all going to come from different perspectives. We're all going to come from different walks of life and experiences with diversity, and then especially the 5 lenses that we'll be looking at. And that's okay, and that's encouraged, that we are bringing those different perspectives and views to our discussions and to what we're doing. And to be open-minded, to hear each other, and to be able to have that dialogue back and forth regarding those issues. Okay, that goes for anything, whether it's written online or we're doing any kind of virtual face-to-face, or not face-to-face, virtual discussions, where we're interacting with one another, or we're posting videos. Just make sure we're not bashing one another, and make sure that we're being very respectful. All right, time management and credit hour policy. This is a 3 credit hour course, therefore, and it's a typical 16-week course smashed into 6 weeks. So there is a good bit of work, and the expectation is that it's 16 to 24 hours worth of work a week. I can't always say that we're going to reach that maximum level, but that is what you need to expect, that you need to set aside time to be able to do this work. If you want to break it up by 5 days, you got 3 to 5 hours a day for 5 days a week. If you're breaking it down by 7 days a week, you got 2.5 to 3.5 hours a day. You'll notice as we get into ReggieNet, and I kind of talk about the setup of the courses, is that I provided you estimated times that each of the different sections in the module will take you, so that you can kind of pace yourself throughout the week. If you know you've got an hour and a half here to watch all the videos, you can do that. If you only got 20 minutes, you can what you can kind of fit in that time. But do understand that it's a 16-week course crammed into 6 weeks. So we're doing 16 weeks worth of work in 6 weeks. So the expectation is, again, 16 to 24 hours per week that you'll be working on this course. Okay? Again, technology support. I'm not your tech guru. Don't come to me with those things. You need to utilize your resources for that. If you are a student with access and accommodation needs, you need to email me personally, and we can set up a time to maybe talk about the accommodations that I can provide for you. And you can also share with me your accommodations card from Access and Accommodation Services. Okay. Counseling services are available. Academic dishonesty. It's hard to cheat in this with what we're doing. However, any of the writings that you're doing, if you are utilizing someone else's work, please make sure you're citing that properly and that it's not plagiarism. But please read over that policy for online courses and academic integrity. There's a section about intellectual property, appropriate use of information technology resources and systems, distance education policy, FERPA, and severe weather natural disaster policy per the university for online courses. It's a lot of information there. Please make sure you do read over all of that. There is a quiz on Netiquette and the syllabus just to make sure that you have read and you've got the big points that I really want you to take away from it. But now we can talk about how the course is set up. When you go into ReggieNet, you're going to see on the left side of your screen a toolbar that it really lays out for you the things that we use. In the overview, you've got a letter from me kind of welcoming you to the course and kind of talking to you a little bit about a lot of what I've just talked about here. Announcements, I will utilize announcements to send out information to you all at the same time. So you do need to check ReggieNet probably once a day. Hopefully that's set up to come through your email and you're able to access email as well. For the messages section of that toolbar, I do ask that you email me directly and that you're not sending me emails through the message function here in ReggieNet. And actually, I'll probably remove that as I'm talking about that. But please email me directly. That way I do get it, because sometimes you send messages through ReggieNet and they sit there because I'm not aware that they're there. First thing you're going to do once you finish watching this, and you actually probably already watched... No, excuse me, you're already in Start Here. So you're doing the right thing if you're able to watch this video. But that Start Here goes over initial things. You got the syllabus link directly underneath that as a Google document that will open for you. You probably already found that out by now. And then each of your modules is broken down by weeks. Week 1 is available to you. I will be releasing the other weeks as we go on Saturday nights at midnight. Okay, so those will be available for you beginning Saturday evenings at midnight, actually Sundays at midnight, so that you are able to really focus on the week that we're talking about, and you're really devoting your time to that specific topic of the week, and you're not needing to work ahead because those will not be available to you anyway. So really focus on the week that we're working on. But in those weeks, they are all laid out very similarly when you first go to the week's module page, you're going to see the objectives for that week and what we're meeting for the course objectives with this week's assignments. You're always going to have, for your step 1, is an introduction video from me, kind of outlining what you'll be doing for the week. And then next to that, you'll have the learning activities that we'll be doing and the assessments that I'll be using to grade you. Most likely you're going to have videos or articles to read each week, and those will always be laid out for you, again, with the timestamps, so you kind of know how much time to devote to each of those sections as you're going through your week. Then there will be a reading of the Drama and Diversity chapter that I'll be providing for you, as well as a reading quiz each week. You can count on that always being there for you. The readings are essential. And they're essential to framing the discussions that we'll be having, and information that you're going to be responding with to me about what we're talking about. So there is always a drama diversity chapter that we'll be reading, and then after week 1, you'll also see a reading on there for the script of the week that we're going to be reading. That reading quiz is there. And again, it gives you the time allotment for those. Then you're always going to have some kind of activity that you'll be doing. I've tried to do individually and a group something each week, so that you'll have 2 of those. And you'll see in the assignments for the course that those are in there as well. But there's some kind of activities and final mini projects or something of the week that you'll be providing your information and synthesis of the knowledge of the week in those experiences. Then at the bottom of every week, you've got a checklist. And this is a way for you to keep up that you're meeting everything I'm asking you to do. As you do those things, just come back to the bottom of the screen with the checklist and click the boxes next to the things you've done. This is also a way for me to keep up with what you're doing, and you do get a grade for completing all the parts of the checklist each week. Okay? I hope that makes sense. Again, it's a full course. There's a lot going on. And you'll be hearing a lot more from me as we go. But I am looking forward to working with you, and I'm looking forward to talking about these things and getting some different perspectives as well, sharing mine with you, and interacting as much as possible in this online course about theater, arts, and society. Again, if you have questions, please email me, and we can set up times to talk. We can set up times to chat, or I can just answer directly on email. I hope you are looking forward to this, and I look forward to meeting you. Take care.